Alvin Jr. Justes was born March the 8th, 1941, the oldest child of Ben and Eunice Justes. He had a younger sister named Violet and a younger brother named Billy Ray. And when his mother died at the age of 9, Ben, his father, remarried, and Alvin had a half-brother named Harvey. Alvin was always the odd duck of the family. He was cut from a different mold, and life in Laurel County would never be his thing. He had a love for history, and so much, in fact, that he pulled out the old historic spelling of his last name. Alvin used Justes instead of Justice, like his father before him, and he kept that historic spelling throughout his life. Alvin loved reading, he loved trains, and he loved Native American history. So when time came to leave Laurel County around age 19, he was enticed to move to Oklahoma, a land rich in American Indian history. At 19, he joined the United States Army and served his country in Vietnam. After his military service ended, Alvin settled into life near Oklahoma City. He worked for the U.S. Mint, and he often sent gifts back home of souvenirs of shredded money. He was never married, he did not own a car, and he always kept in contact throughout the years with younger sister Violet. But he rarely visited Kentucky. The last time he came was in December of 1982 for his dad's funeral. Alvin often visited the city and used the city bus service whenever he needed to get to town in Oklahoma City. He had all of his regular stops that he liked to make at the library, at museums, and a particular coffee shop he enjoyed visiting. And he often did his banking at the Federal Employees Credit Union in Oklahoma City. He was deeply committed to his faith, and he often left religious tracts with those that he spoke with. On Wednesday, April the 19th of 1995, Alvin took the bus to town to run some errands. Sometime around 8:45 that morning, he took the elevator to the third floor up to the Federal Employees Credit Union to do some banking. The Federal Credit Union was located in the Alfred P. Murrah building. Somewhere around 9:02 a.m., the worst act of domestic terrorism in U.S. history occurred. A Ryder rental truck, packed with explosives, was parked in front of the Murrah building, and it blew up. More than 680 people were injured. 324 other buildings were damaged or destroyed, and 168 people lost their lives. When the news hit all around the world, Brother Harvey and Sister Violet immediately thought of Alvin and began to contact him, and no answer on the phone. Violet called the apartment manager. He hadn't seen Alvin either, and anyone else they could think of to call, including the authorities, to let them know that their brother was missing. As the investigation was going on, it took a while to identify Alvin. He was a regular customer at the employee credit union, and another employee who had survived the blast reported to the authorities that she had seen Alvin just moments before the explosion. And when you think about it, it's easy to understand why it took so long for Alvin to show up on a missing list. He was a loner. He had no family in Oklahoma City. Very few people even noticed that he was missing. He traveled by bus. He did not own a car. So there was no vehicle to be recovered in the parking lot after the blast. As the investigation narrowed down, the final 3 bodies to be identified were 2 employees of the Federal Credit Union and a customer. On May the 23rd, over a month after the explosion, the authorities identified the very last person. Victim number 168 was Alvin Jr. Justes from Laurel County. It's Cold Hill Elementary School, and this is Pleasant View Cemetery. Alvin made his last trip home here on a winter day in December of 1982 for Ben, his father's funeral. And this is Ben and Eunice's grave, along with a few other members of the Justes family. But Alvin made one final trip home too. And today, he also is resting at peace here at Pleasant View Cemetery at Cold Hill.